Good day, everyone. How are you? Let's take these glasses off, turn my face a little bit so I'm not totally in the shadows with a black eye. Thank you, Maria. I got your email and just heard my phone buzz, and thank you for your donation. I really appreciate that. Hello, Denise and CJ and CW. Hello, Greg, and thanks be to Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum for Sister Jeannie's safe arrival in Florida to my daughter. And yes, I haven't heard from them too much, but I'm sure they're probably either hiding from the scorching heat or relishing in napping. So let's we're going to get started. Before we do, I had an idea, and I need a lot of prayers on this one. The house where I was ordained and consecrated bishop is for sale, and that is where the altar stone and base is located that is being given to me. And my thought is, well, maybe I don't have to move that, and maybe that would be a really nice place. It's in Scranton, Pennsylvania. It would be a nice place for a convent/retreat house, or the second monastery. I know Mr. Nobody is working hard, and thanks with all of your help for donating, but we need to boost that up for him to get him finished, to get that one in Chicago finished. If we can, with a miracle, pull out the one in Pennsylvania, I was thinking that there would be a place for sisters to stay. And I don't know what, but the idea just came to me last night. The asking price is $250,000. It's a large house on a small plot of land. But if anybody has any other ideas on how we might be able to do that, please let me know. And in the meantime, pray, because I'm planning on heading there to either pick up the stone or make a deal, the altar stone, this coming weekend. I'm in contact with the owner, or I should say the estate, which is the daughter of the owner, or owners. I'm not sure how it's all laid out. In any case, let's get started with, or continue with, St. John of the Cross and Mass on this Tuesday. Let's see, it's May 21st, 2024. And again, I'm looking for priests. I'm not getting any younger. In nomine Dei, matronam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Trinitarian Theophany, and in Catholic contemplation humbly adore the Divine Family. Most Holy and Venerable Trinity, one Divine Family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O Trinitarian Theophany, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Matronam Nostrae. O Trinitarian Theophany, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul. Because thou art all good and worthy of all love, I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Trinitarian Theophany for the many graces that we receive and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven. O Trinitarian Theophany, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of the Trinitarian Theophany the graces which are necessary to us. O Trinitarian Theophany, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Deum Matronam Nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all because they offend thee, O most holy Trinitarian Theophany. Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. So also, with regards to this weekend, if anybody is in the area and got muscles or not for Sunday, I'm thinking tentatively right now to go there on Saturday evening, stay over, and then have Mass there in Pennsylvania Sunday morning, pack things up, and then head back. I don't think the owners would mind if I had Mass there for a few people, if there were any in the area and wanted to come. All right. Get in touch with me if you would, and I will give you the address. St. John of the Cross, Dark Night of the Soul continued. Of other soothing and tender effects effected on the soul by this obscure night of contemplation. After this fashion of a flaming fire, we may understand certain of the soothing effects which this obscure night of contemplation now proceeds to work upon the soul. For sometimes in the midst of this darkness, the soul is enlightened, and the light shines forth upon the darkness. This mystic influence descending full upon the intellect, and the will sharing therein to some degree, with a serenity and purity so rare and delightful to the sense of the soul, that it is impossible to define it. Sometimes in one way of feeling the Trinitarian Theophany, at others in another. Sometimes, likewise conjointly with the other powers, it transfixes the will and sets it on fire with a sublime, tender, and powerful love. For we have already said that sometimes these two powers, the intellect and the will, are united, and the more completely the intellect is purged, so much the more perfect and delicate are its perceptions. But before attaining to this state, it is more usual for this kindling spark to touch the will than for the spark of perfect knowledge to touch the intellect. This glow and thirst of love, as it is now, at length proceeds from Deum Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum is absolutely different from that we described in the night of the sense. For although in this the senses also have their share, since they fail not to participate in the conflict of the soul, still the root and the sting of the thirst of love is felt in the higher part of the soul, which feels and grasps its sensations and the lack of what it most desires, after such a fashion that all of the tortures of the senses, although without comparison greater than in the first sensitive night, it counts as nothing, because it apprehends in its most secret depths the want of a great gift and a void that nothing else can fill. But here it must be noted that although at first, when this soulful night commences, this flame of love is not felt, owing to this fire of love not having begun to work, still in its place, the Trinitarian Theophany from the first bestows upon the soul so great an instinctive love of them that, as we have said, her chief suffering and grief in the trials of this night is the terror that haunts her, that the Trinitarian Theophany is lost to her, and that she is forsaken of them. And so we can, with reason, assert that from the beginning of this night of the soul, the soul is constantly wounded with longing for love, before instinctive, now also inflammatory. And it is seen that the greatest distress she feels amidst her trials is this dread. For if she could then be sure that she is not entirely lost or doomed, but that what she passes through is for the best, as indeed it is, and that the Trinitarian Theophany is not angry, all her sufferings would not cost her a single thought. Rather would she rejoice, knowing that it is the Trinitarian Theophany's goodwill and pleasure. For so great is the instinctive love she feels for the Trinitarian Theophany, even when it is shrouded from her in darkness, that not only would she do this, but rejoice greatly to die 1,000 deaths to serve the Trinitarian Theophany. But when at length the flame has kindled in her conjointly with the instinctive love she already bears to the Trinitarian Theophany, she achieves such energy and vigor, and so great a longing after the Trinitarian Theophany, communicated to her by the heat of love, that greatly daring, without regarding aught, nor having respect to any mortal thing, in the strength and intoxication of her passion, without much heeding what she does, she would perform whatsoever strange and unwonted things were presented to her, no matter by what mode or fashion, so long as it brings her to the Trinitarian Theophany, who loves her. Of this stature, then, are the agonies of love this soul begins to feel, when she has at length come so far upon her journey through this soulful purgation. For she rises up by night, that is, in this purgative night, in answer to the impulses of her will, and with the agony and strength that the lioness or the bear goes forth to seek her cubs when she has been robbed of them and cannot find them, so doth this wounded soul go out to seek her Trinitarian Theophany. For as she is in darkness, she feels herself without them and dies for love of them, the Trinitarian Theophany. And this is the restless love, wherein a living person cannot long exist unless he receives some return or dies. Okay, we're going to stop there today, and we'll continue on with that in that vein for tomorrow. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apud te. Oremus. O Trinitarian Theophany, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum, Spiritum Sanctum, hanc immaculatum hostiam, quam ego indignus famulus tuus oferi tibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro innumerabilibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentiis meis et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sed et pro omnibus fidelibus Catholicorum vivis atque defunctis ut mihi, et idis proficiat ad salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatem mirabilitu condedisti et mirabilis reformasti, da nobis spiritus atquae et vini mysterium eius divinitatis esse consortes, qui humanitatis nostrae fieri dinatis est partecaps, Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivit et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem, salutaris tuam depecantes clementiam, ut in conspecto divinae majestatis tuae pro nostra et totius mundi salute, cum adore suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito suscipiamur a te Deum Iesum Christum et sequiet sacrificium nostrum in conspecto tuo hodie, ut placiat tibi Deum matronam nostrae et de Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificit oblata prosequendo, et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sanctum nomini praeparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas, hanc oblationem quam tibi efferimus ad memoriam passionis, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Deum matronam nostrae, et Papa Peter Sanctorum, et Istorum et Omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiat ad honorem nobis autem et salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedere dignentur in caelis, quorum memoriam agimus in tedis, pereendum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meum aquestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat apud Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis ad laudam et gloriam nomini sui, ad uditatem quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apud te sursum corda habemus a Deum, gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te egitor, clementissimi Mater et Pater, Deum Matronum Nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum Deum Nostrae, supplices rogamus ac petimus. Uti accepta habeas et sanctas, haec sanctam sacrificiam irribata, in primis, quae tibi offerimus, pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare, custodiri, adonare, et regere digneris tot orbiter arum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famulorum tuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. Pray for Katie and Gage, Mark Jr., Casey, Maria Josephina Mose, Henry, Barbara, and Benedict Santa Croce, Mr. Nobody, Anne Bultink, the Cantu and Duarte families, Maria and the Lineweber family, Jenna, Lena, Lori, Aaron and family, John Cahill, the Dasco Nye, Tafur, Began, and Wolf families. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an opportunity to acquire a convent in Scranton, Pennsylvania. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse, any kind of human trafficking or ritual abuse, anywhere, any place or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, medium of exchange with no usury, and courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society to support and care for the women and the family, the traditional Catholic family. We ask for a reversal of the feminist ideology and a return to godly femininity. We ask that Deum Matronam Nostra et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, with this Mass, destroy the satanic document of Vatican law that is the Jewish Talmud. We ask you to destroy Rome and the Vatican, and that we all recognize the authority of the Catholic Church now in Fatima, Portugal. We also ask you to release the souls controlled by the demons, Lilith and Asmodeus, and to release the souls, transfer them from under the dominion of any Jew or Freemason that gives support to Israel. We also ask you to block the passage of any so-called pandemic treaty by the WHO based on lies and aimed at removing the divine family's children's freedom to move and to travel. We also ask for all lies to be exposed as such, all false flags to stop, and all these we ask in accordance with the Trinitarian Theophany's holy and divine will. Et omnium circumstantiam quorum tibi fides cognita est nota devotio, pro quibus tibi offerimus, vel qui tibi offerent hoc sacrificium laudis pro se suisque omnibus, pro redemptione anomarum suarum, pro spe salutis et calamitatis suae. Tibique redont vota sua aeterno Deum vivo et vero, communicantes et memoriam venerantes in primis gloriosae, semper Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium tuorum, Papae Sancti Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum meritis precibusque concedas, ut in omnibus protectiones tuae muniamur auxilio, per eundum Christum Deum nostrum, quam oblationem te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecratem, acceptabilemque facere digneris ut nobis corpum et sanguinem dilectissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pateretur accepita panem in sanctus ac venerabilis manus suas, et elevatis oculis in caelum et ad te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit, fregit, dedique lumnis sui dicens, accipite et mandicati ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simili modo postquam ceremonia est, accipienser hunc praeclarum calicem in sanctus ac venerabilis manus suas, idem tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecravit, dedique lumnis sui dicens accipite et vivite ex eo omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum. Haec quotescunque feceritis in memor facietis. Unde et memores Deum nos servitui, sed plebs tua sancta iustem, Christum filium tuum, Deum nostrae, tam beatae passiones nec non et benferis, resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae ascensionis offerimus praeclare maiestati tuae de tuis donis ac datis, supra quae propitio ac sereno vultur respicieri dimeris. Supplices, te rogamus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ibi haec perferipe manus tuum ut quod ex hoc ataris participatione sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem subserimus, omni sanctificatione, caelesti et gratiare pamor per innum Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died, and we especially pray for Don Scott, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibum, in Christum quiescentibum, locum refugieri, lucis et pacis et undogeas deprecamur, per innum Christum Deum nostrum, perquem haec omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivificas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum, et cum ipso, et in ipso, est tibi Deum Matram omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea, Matronam Nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum, Dea Matronam Nostrae, Matram Deum Iesum Christum misericordia nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos, quae sumus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus, et futuris, et intercedente, beata gloriosa semper Dea Matronam Nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis, da propitios pacem in diebus nostris, ut ope misericordiae, tuae aduiti et peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Pediendum Deum nostrum, Iesum Christum, Filium tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivet et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam, pax Deum Iesum Christum sed semper vobiscum et quoque apud te. Haec comminstio et consecratio, corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat accipientibus nobis in ad salutam aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apud te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Dea matronam nostrae, quabrante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuam unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinum tuum ab unibus iniquitatibus meis, et universis malis, et fac me tui semper in haeraere mandatis, et a te numquam separare permittas, qui cum eodem Dea matronam nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indignius sum rei, praesumo non mihi proveniat, in judicium et condemnationem, sed pro tua pietate prosit mihi tutamente mentis se corporis, et ad medelam, percipiendam qui vivis et regnas cum Dea matronam nostrae, in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem calestem. Accipiem et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Dea matronam nostrae non sum dignius, ut intercedete meus in tanto de verbo et senabatur anima mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sum dignius, ut intercedete meus, sed tanto de verbo et senabatur anima mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sum dignius, ut intercedete meus, sed tanto de verbo et senabatur anima mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid retribuam Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus, quae retribuit mihi, calicem salutaris accipiem et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo. Laudans invocabo Dea matronam nostrae, et ab inimicis meis salvus eero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quod ore samsimus Deum Iesum Christum puramente capiamus. Et de munere temperae fiat nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum, quod sancti et sanguis, quem potavi, et haereat visceribus meis et praesta, et ut in me non remaneat scelerum macula, quem pura et sancta refecerunt sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, quoque pote. Oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, O Trinitarian Theophany, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one God, forever and ever. One divine family. Deum vobiscum, et quoque pote, ite mises, Deum gratia. Placeat tibi sancta Trinitum obsequium servitubis meae, et praesta et ut sacrificium coroculis tuae majestatis igninus optuli tibis et acceptabile mihique et omnibus pro quibus irud optuli sit te miserante propitiabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum. Deum Matronam Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O Trinitarian Theophany, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, present here, in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and immaculate heart of Deum Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. So if you want to take away anything from today, it would be to try and do a little bit better each day. So, or improve your life in one way, a little bit at a time. So, for example, like I can see that it's a little bit easier for me to pronounce this corrected Latin. And it's a little bit better each day. So I kept thinking to myself, well, that's good. Okay, then it becomes habit. So if we can get rid of a sin, just a little one, okay, and then practice that, just stay on that one, okay, and then you get better at it, and then it's gone. And again, find something else a little bit better each day. Please go and sanctify all those who you meet, and we'll see you tomorrow.